my mind, I like to create all these different scenarios of what really could be going on. So you leave too much room for the imagination. And I'm wondering if it's real.
Is this an obsession or just someone made love? I can't get you out of my mind. I lose all my track of time. Obsession, wonder will it ever be real or just the fantasy I feel? So my heart is screaming out for more. Obsession, will I ever know? Will I get the courage ever to show?
Real life street stars in the building with Krissy D. What it is?
What's good, y'all? It's your girl Krissy D, hip hop's refreshment. I quench your thirst for the truth.
Amen. You know what I'm saying? We gotta apologize for the last fuck up for the last time you was here. You have already been a real life street star, for a minute.
Thank you.
It was a fuck up on our part. You know what I'm saying? We didn't follow up, but we gonna do it one more again for the good again, cause you know your music dropping. It's been a couple of changes. The last time you was here, we can't really go into it because the people didn't see it. But
well, they saw the booth. You know,
they saw the movement,
I was
Chakra
the first female in the booth ever.
And you killed it. Tell them what you killed. You killed a legendary beat.
I did that Ready or Not. Lauryn Hill's my favorite female artist, so I had to kill that in the booth. And I was, you know, on my chakra shift shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a different image. It was different.
Yeah, I know. Chakra shift. You know, that's a very powerful title. Explain those, because we never got the first interview. What was the meaning behind the first?
The meaning behind chakra shift. Your chakras are your energy centers, and so. And to shift is to move, to change. So through hip hop, I was shifting your energy. At that time, I was going through a real powerful spiritual transformation. You know, I was really just becoming enlightened, veganism, just everything, just changing my life. So I marketed that. You know, I feel like every new level of my life causes for a new me. So, you know.
Yeah, and so fast forward about maybe a year or so later. Are you 2 years?
Yep.
Are we still living by those same principles and things like that?
Yes, definitely. You know, I eat clean. You know, my energy, I control it. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in like foster homes and boarding schools, you have a lot of illness. You know what I'm saying? A lot of just grimy shit you go through. So when I first started rapping, it was about pain. Now it's just, you know, more freeing, just empowering, you know, encouraging, just teaching people to just be them. Fuck the naysayers, fuck the norm. So yeah, I live by everything that I've transformed to be. So now I just have a balance. You know what I'm saying?
now, last time you was here, you had a more earthy look, more earthy tone, more what people would refer to as natural. Right now, you have a little more drip to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say we're not gonna act like you wasn't dripping last time.
I've been dripping. Yeah, you're right.
You was definitely fine last time, and you're fine this time, but the look is different. So. Yeah. What was the call for this transition? What are we in right now?
Okay, so after I dropped my album, I was like, okay, I'm looking at my stats. I'm seeing like my response, and people started viewing me as like they're Erykah Badu. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted me to be something. And what people started forgetting that I'm really the queen with the flow. Like, I'm really the sickest when it comes to this spit shit. Nobody's killing me. So I was like, okay, maybe I have to just wake niggas up. You know what I'm saying? So I said, let me sit down and let me think about how I want to be represented. And I went and looked at where I was before Chakra Shift. And I was like, man, I want to incorporate who I was when I first started spitting in 08 on my MySpace freestyles and who I am now. And that's what I want for my second album. So when I sat down and thought about what that would look like, you know, I talked to a couple mentors. I talked to a couple people that fuck with me that's been here since the beginning. And I kind of came up with the vision. And then I got with Sydney Escada from Billionaires Concepts, and we got to working together, and I said, this is what I want. And she said, well, we can make this happen. I can bring this to life. You just got to trust me. So we just got together, picked some different things out, and you know, I went out of my comfort zone, as y'all can see in the video for Obsession, and this is what you get, this is what you see. It's just like I said, it's a more luxe version of me to date.
Yeah, and let's touch on that video, Obsession. Go check that out on the YouTube channel. We did debut that. That video was very dope. You know, it was very different.
Yeah.
You played, you know, the video is self-explaining for those who have not seen it.
Okay. The video for Obsession is depicting what Krissy D, the brand, is and where she is now and what the song means. So, like, my brand is very, everybody knows I'm like this real extraterrestrial being. I'm very just avant-garde. I'm into just energy and the signs, which is why you see me depicted as the universe in the video. You see the Aquarius when the globe comes up. A lot of people didn't catch that, but watch that and you'll see just who I am and that I embody the universe. You know what I mean? And then I wanted to, you know, I'm 25 now. When I dropped my album, I was like 22, 23. So I wanted to just level up, you know what I'm saying, and show people like what my version of sexy was. So that's why it's very sexy, but it's very tasteful. It's just kind of like just you know, just some upper echelon, you know, universal shit. Like, it's just letting everybody know this is the stamp, grabbing your attention, like Krissy D, like, damn, you know what I mean? So it's just letting people know, like, I am of the universe, and, you know, you're definitely going to be obsessed with what's coming next.
Now, this version of your sexy was, like you said, a little bit out of your comfort zone, because you've always been sexy, but this version of your sexy you didn't show before, you know?
Right.
How did you get to that space where you felt comfortable doing it?
I think when I was going through my chakra shift, I feel like my values and things were changing, and I had a lot of just different perspectives on life and marketing and what I wanted to be and how I wanted to be perceived. And I feel like just after I dropped my album and I saw how that was, and just seeing where I wanted to be, I was like, you know, I've embraced, you know, that I have a voice, what I want to say. I want to just embrace the things that attract people to me, you know, and a lot of that is my beauty, it's my essence, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm just finna like really shed it all. I do a lot of fashion, and fashion, there is no limits. So I was like, okay, well, I felt like I was putting a little bit of limits on my marketing, you know what I'm saying, and how I was being seen. So I was like, let's go all the way left, but still be me. And I think that's how you get Obsession.
So now that you've you stepped into a different role, how are your fans taking you?
I think everybody's really like fucking with it. One thing I can say is everybody sees the growth, like, cause like I said, when I first started rapping, for people that's been rocking with Krissy D from the beginning, this is not new.
Right.
This is new to everybody, all of the fan base that I gained when I was marketing Chakra Shift.
Right.
So, like I said, when people see me right now, they see it and they're like, okay, wow, it's a lot of growth here. We see it. Like, she really is like an ever evolving artist, and that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? When people devote their time to an artist, they want to know that they're evolving. They want to see the different sides of them, because people change.
Exactly.
So I think people are rocking with the elevation.
And it's you were saying something a little earlier about, you know, the marketing of yourself and your brand. That's one thing that we really see that you gradually, you know, take care with. The thought process, because everything that, you know, you post, everything that you do, it seems such of an artistic taste that it's so it's so singular that, I mean, even looking at the last, you know, Chakra Shift, okay, boom, and they're coming up now. Everything I said, like I said, is just of an artistic taste. What's the mindset behind that, as far as the art, the changes, and is it something that's going to be ever evolving, like you said?
It is. Every time I do a project, I'm going through something different. Like, it's so, and I feel the need to express that. I feel like people should never feel like, oh, because I believe this or I did this one year, I can't do this next year. Like, if you go through different life experiences and your mind changes and you start liking stuff that you didn't like before, or you just, if you change, just embrace it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, right now my album is 101. It's this luxe version. You know, I might blast off and go experience something new, be eating different food and seeing different stuff. And, you know, my next album might be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just could be anything. So it's like, yes, when it comes to Krissy D, I'm definitely, I was exposed to so much as a kid, just having different house parents and different, just being raised by different, you know, nationalities, and that I could never just be one type of artist. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be some different shit. It's always gonna be, you know, what is she gonna do next? But it's always gonna have the basis is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? The most creative expression of hip hop you can think of.
Now let me ask you this, because in the last project I didn't hear it so much, but in this new project, are we gonna hear some more about, like, because I feel like you have a lot to offer as far as knowledge and wisdom in your music. Are we going to start hearing some of that in your actual projects?
I feel like with One of One, I definitely did touch on a lot of just real shit, like stuff that's going on just in news in the world today. And then also, I do have like the inspirational stuff, the BU, the you know, the fashion. I got like different genres on this album. I got the EDM, I got the, you know what I mean? So I feel like I definitely did a widespread of expressing for this album. Yeah.
Real talking. Back to Obsession. For the fans out there that's wanting to get to know you, tell them one thing that you're probably obsessed with that the normal fan may not know.
What am I obsessed with?
Can't be music.
Man, I was gonna be like beats. I was about to be like beats. Nah. Man, it can't be like any art, like fashion.
Just don't hit us with the typical hip hop answer.
Nah, I mean, I guess something that I'm really obsessed with. I don't know, probably just. I don't want to say something cliche, but it would have to be something like, you know, like fashion and fantasy, like.
No, but see, here's the thing. I like that you said fashion because, like, your drip is really different from when you were last here.
Yeah.
And people change, but your change was like a 180. Like you're on a totally different wave, like. And it's tight. You know what I'm saying? Basically what I'm saying is people can't dress. Not typically. Like your shit is hard. Like, you know, was you able to do that? Just like, okay, I'm just gonna.
Because the thing is this, I've always, just because I chose to wear dashikis and head wraps, didn't mean that I didn't have the drip. You know what I mean? Like I've always been, you know, into fashion. I've always been like avant-garde. It's just that at the time I was really like, you know what I'm saying, I was doing shows for the FOI, you know what I'm saying. I went to Atlanta and did the Black Power Awards, you know, hosted by Cyrock and David Banner.
How was that?
It was lit. Like I was really living that though. Like I was living with, you know, my baba and my yay at the time. Like I was really living this life. So it's like I was influenced by the life that I was living, and so I was, you know, as such, you know what I'm saying? And I've since, you know, branched off and just, you know, done more of just, I guess, honing into Krissy D and who Krissy D is as a whole. And my values are still the same, but it's just I'm not walking in that every day. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm able to drip. You feel me?
We love the drip, man. We actually, you know, wondering what you're gonna post next, man. Man, this wouldn't be Real Life Street Stars if, you know, we didn't you know, touch on some things. You know, Jill Scott recently dropped a video, had the internet going crazy.
You know.
Joe Budden made a mention that neo soul chicks are some of the most, let's just say, you know,
mesmerizing.
Yeah, mesmerizing. I like that. Mesmerizing when the doors close. From the Chakra shift, you know, you was in the neo soul was what we saw that, man. Tell us, when the doors close, is it true or is it fake?
It's true. Let me tell you, the energy is magical. This is something that I have to say. When it comes to women that are in touch with their inner star, the the universe within them is just recharged. It's different. You know what I'm saying? Versus the girls that drink soda, smoke all this weed, and just be, you know, they doing all the things that the niggas doing. They this, they the gang. Our vibration, it's nothing against them, but our vibration is just different. We take care different. We eat different. We think different. So that's why when somebody get with Erica, she changes them versus, you know, when somebody get with Lily from down the street, because when you get with a woman that her energy is infectious, it's only natural that you receive that. So that's why I can't do too much, you know, being out here, because they will come banging your door down for that energy.
Now for the fellas who, you know, all we know is now you made every other chick seem kind of basic.
You know? So when you meet some girl like this, you just be like, dudes be trying to play it cool, but y'all be like, man, I'm gonna go get that dashiki, fam. I'm finna try some of this kale. I'm finna try some of this kale, bro. I'm gonna drink some of this. Like, y'all be switching. Everybody really wants to evolve. So when you get a woman that puts you on aloe water versus that bullshit, you know, from the corner store that you be fuck with, yeah, you fucking with that. It's new. It's yeah.
So how is one male find that? How do we know what do we look for? Because like typically, like you say, like right now, we wouldn't know that you, unless you knew you from a few years back. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't know that you had that star energy in you.
I feel like from obsession you do. When you see that, you be like, okay, she's sexy, but she on some other shit. It's still different. So you would know. You would know. But to meet the eye, you never know a deep woman from just looking at her. So if you can look at her and in your mind, like you just got it figured out, that's not her. It's going to be that one you look at and you like,
amen,
I can't figure it out. You know, like you're going to have to speak to her in a manner to really get it. Like that's the one. That's the one. Amen. And some people don't know how to deal with that. Like a lot of people I've learned are, you know, some artists would be like, everybody's intimidated, and people used to tell me that, and I don't think people are intimidated. I think people do not know, like not everybody is expressive as an artist or as me, and so when they see something they don't know how to like respond to, they just don't know how to approach it. So I feel like for people like me, we have to be the ones that are open and like, what's good, you know, we have to make a way for people to feel comfortable to fuck with us, because we are mystical and everybody don't know how to talk to an alien.
Amen. Now album is one of one.
One of one.
That is a very bold statement, because that statement says that out of the billions of people who surf on the surface of this planet, well, you're not from the planet, but out of the billions of people who you share the planet with,
right,
you are the only one that exists like you.
Only one of one.
What gives you the ability to make that claim, or the right?
Well, the right comes from me being born. Okay, everybody has the right to know who they are and express that. And then what gives me the inkling, you know, what tells me that I'm one of one, I have never met somebody that came from my background become who I am becoming. Growing, like I said, you know, I grew up in foster homes and boarding schools. Everybody be like, Krissy D, where you from? I'm from like the world, because I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, but I went to elementary, middle school, and high school in Fort Worth, Arlington, and Dallas. Yeah. So I moved around. I've been everywhere. And I noticed that a lot of people don't make it out. A lot of people don't find their purpose. They don't know it. And I knew my purpose since like 7 years old. So the older that I got, like I used to think that I was normal, and then I started noticing that I was like, just I didn't like certain things that other people liked, or I didn't like the boy that every girl liked. I didn't have like the fly shoes and stuff like that, but somehow I still was like fresh, you know. I didn't mind going to the thrift store and getting new shit and just putting shit together. Like I started figuring out like I had natural drip. Like people would think I was on something, but it's like it was just me. You know, I'm going back to the foster home after this, and you would never know. You know, I'm on the street, I'm spitting. So I started to just notice, like, even with Chakra Shift, people were asking me then, like, how can you be this? And when we saw you on MySpace, it was this hard, and it's like, this is where I am. So
Exactly.
I also learned that people are not comfortable enough within themselves to even do what it is that I'm doing in the game.
It's because it's all about trajectories, and your trajectory's been constantly going up. And it's funny because I think Tiffany Haddish had the same story, coming from foster homes, and look where she at. And I think we even had Duffy on the couch, and she said 7 years old, she had a dream of where she was at. She already saw where it was going. And
7 years old is like a pinnacle age,
it's
bro.
It's a pinnacle point.
That's
where
when you really
I'm
like,
be this.
Like either or you don't. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
I told myself then, I remember hearing something was talking to me, and something said, everything you go through is for someone else. And that was at 7. So even being abused, or even being just everything that I went through, I always somehow had the strength to keep moving forward and be creative and be happy in spite of this, because I knew it wasn't just happening.
Exactly. And of course I want to touch on it because you are one of the few female hip-hop artists that come through here. Mm-hmm. At the pinnacle of the game, you have Nicki Minaj, you have Cardi B. They recently went through a beef, or still going through a beef, and the topic is, you don't write your lyrics, you're a cookie cutter.
Okay.
And I really do this. I've been doing this, forever, and I really, take penmanship seriously.
Right.
Your thought process on that, as far as the game today, does it matter or does it not?
Okay, first of all, this is a big issue, because when hip hop was originated, it was about the words that you express. It was coming from you. It was your spit. Your spit made you creative. The shit that you came up with. Yeah. When you got into making hits, it was about writing hits. So it was like, you didn't have a hit unless you wrote it. In rap.
Facts.
Singers, it's about the voice. It's not about the cadence. It's not about what hip hop is. It's about the voice. So they've always been getting songs that have been written. So the origin of hip hop is definitely, you write your bars. If you having a ghostwriter and shit like that was frowned upon at one point. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't you. It's not you. Hip hop has gone from a cultural standpoint to a commercial standpoint. So at this point, it's not about, in 2018, no, it's not about talent, skill, bars. We would all like it to be, yes, because that's what Real MCs is on. But in the current state of hip hop, you're getting on by what you represent in the game versus what you actually are in the game.
Is that depressing to you, being an artist?
It was at one point. Because it depends on where your perspective is. If you're when you're in your career, or like when I first started and I was doing Chakra Shift, for example, of course I was thinking about my stats and stuff like that, but I wasn't really like aiming for the market. You know what I mean? Like I was like, this is more for me, and everybody fucks with me, so if they receive it, they receive it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really care about how hard it was gonna be for them to get it. I didn't really think about certain things, certain aspects of what the game is actually thinking about as a business. So if you coming in it and you real personal with it, it's gonna fuck you up. Like, this is not, you're gonna be angry. You're gonna be bitter like Joe Budden, because you like, what the fuck? Where's the penmanship? But when you are looking at it from an artist and a business standpoint, you see that business wise, they're doing what is marketed, and what's marketed is what you represent in hip hop. It's not who you are, because if it was who you are, then artists like, I don't know if y'all know these artists, but rappers like Lily 47 and Queen Nokia, these are female rappers that's really killing stuff, and they talking about stuff, but they're not on like a Nicki or a Cash Doll or something like that, because that's not what's being marketed as a whole. So it's fucked up, but at the end of the day, I feel like as an artist, just like the artists that have been in the game 10, 20 years, they have to evolve with the time. And that's the only way that we keep hearing them, is if they're able to, you know, find who they are, where in the state of hip hop it is today. So it's like, if you really have it, if you really write hits, you can be you know what I'm saying, and be influenced by where hip hop is today. And you should still be able to be like, people should still understand it and be able to, you know, fuck with it and rock with it.
You know, I like, and I like how you refer to everything as hip hop, because I feel like hip hop is the mother of this shit.
Yeah.
Like what it stands for, and I feel like rap is just hip hop's badass kid. You know what I'm saying? Because rap is just some shit that will get you paid, but hip hop is some shit that you live by.
Right.
You know
and
what I'm
it
saying?
goes hand in hand, and it's like, you don't have to be a hip hop head to rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for hip hop, you know, you got to know the culture, and you rap. You got to have your sauce, your cadence, what makes your flow different from the next man's flow. So I feel like, I don't, like some people would say Nicki or Cardi. For me, it's not a Nicki or Cardi. For me, Nicki wrote her bars. I feel that she gets all the credit in the world for that. You are a real MC because you wrote your shit, period. But that doesn't discredit Cardi's experience in this, because at the end of the day, whether she was writing her shit or not, her shit that blew up when she first started rapping, she was writing that whack ass shit, period. Okay, she was writing that shit, and some people was fucking with it and some people wasn't. You know, she happened to get to a place where somebody saw it and was like, well, you know what, if I put her in the studio and we get some writing camps, since we can afford to do that, since that's how the game goes any motherfucking way, she gonna be something. And that's what they did. They put the potential that she had with that industry pressure, and it made her a legend. And so I respect that too. You know what I'm saying? She did come from nothing. She did believe she could flow, whether she was a hip hop head or not. She believed she could rap. So that's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, I fuck with it. I feel like I feel like I'm an MC hard, super hard too, but I also write in different genres. So I don't see myself limited from pop, from EDM, run rate tracks, you know, writing for country artists or rock artists. I don't see a limit. It's people that are in one market that feel like, well, this person is taking up space because they ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's enough room for everybody to really rock, especially when you the shit.
So now when you get ready to, like you said, when you get ready to step in the EDM or a country or a pop, or how does that shift work? Because, you know, some artists, they have a singular focus and they can only do that, but you can. So how do you make that work?
I think you have to start off marketing that you're versatile. When you come off as one thing, people want that from you. They expect that. That's like, an example of that is like Dej Loaf. When she first came off and they marketed her, it was like some gangster shit. She got some money. She wanted to be more expressive to herself. She wants to be free. And some people aren't really catching on to that. You know what I mean? Because of what that that's what they saw. So when you come out like, you know, a lot of people don't like her, but like Azalea Banks, you know how she came off real weird in the beginning, and then she started doing fashion, and then she started getting booked by the most famous people in fashion. And it was like they could believe that, because when she first started rapping, it was some New York weird type stuff. She's just evolving into something different, and whether people get it or not, somebody paying for it. So you just gotta be able, it has to be in you. Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna write a rock song and try to be what rock is. If you don't already like have your own essence or understanding of what that is, it's not gonna come off as authentic. Me, I'm an eclectic, so I listen to different types of music, and I allow that to influence how I approach hip hop. That's why I can do all these different things.
So when can we expect that one of one?
So one of one is definitely coming 2019. I really want to do. I don't want to give y'all a date, because I don't want y'all to go back on this and be like, man, Krissy D, where that album at, bro? Where that album at, bro? But I am gonna say I feel like it's the first or second quarter of the year. I still have 3 singles to drop for y'all. From the project, because I kind of want. It's a visual industry right now, and so right now people have to see it, and that makes them want to hear it. So I feel like if I drop my singles, you know, I put out the vision, and it then people are gonna be anticipating one of one. They're gonna see like, okay, like this really is one of one. Like Obsession, like that was some different shit. That's like the most, just eclectic video of the year, really. And then what I'm coming with next, this song called On. On is a EDM, it's a runway track. You know what I'm saying? But I'm spitting cold on that shit. So when your production matches the genre, but your flow matches your essence of hip hop, it's undeniable. Like when you see that, it's like, damn, like okay, it just keeps getting. And so I'm just gonna. I have a process. It's a process. I believe in quality over quantity. So like I said, it's a build up, and it's gonna be like the first or second quarter of the year. Y'all can expect one of one.
Amen. You got any shout outs you want to kick?
I do. I definitely want to shout out to Sydney Escada of Billionaires Concepts for working with me on my singles and these visuals that we about to drop. Y'all, she is a creative director in Dallas. Go fuck with that. I like to definitely shine on all the females, so it's a lot of like hard females in Dallas that's really killing stuff. So I want to shout out to her. I want to shout out to my producers, Devin Kennedy, who produced Obsession, and then CJ Battle, who's produced a couple of my new singles that are about to come out. He did a lot of 101. I definitely want to shout out to, Real Life Street Stars for bringing us here together today and allowing us to really just express our shit. And I just want to also shout out to my fans and my supporters. There's a lot of people that have been rocking with me since MySpace. Y'all have been through the whirlwind, and some people didn't believe. Some people lost their minds and started sleeping. And right now I'm in the process of waking people up and just reigniting that fire. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to the viewers for fucking with me and believing in me. And I got much more to come. Like I said it, I am the most marketable female artist out right now. Okay? And I'm going to show y'all what that is. One of one. It's nothing like it.
Amen. And then anybody want to get in contact with you for any bookings or features, how would they do that? You
will definitely email Krissy12@gmail.com. That's DKRISSY12@gmail.com. If you want to hit me up on social media, you can follow me at Hip Hop's Refreshment on everything: IG, Facebook, Snapchat. And like I said, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm really killing shit and I'm dropping new shit all the time, and y'all about to see this drip. So hit me up.
Krissy D, man. We salute everything you're doing. We apologize again for the last time because
I appreciate y'all.
Man, we fucked up.
Back now though.
But
it's all right.
We back with it.
Black Queen.
And Black Queen and you Black Excellence. All man, you got it all together. You looking real good.
I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? We family.
Yeah, and one of one coming real soon. You know what I'm saying?
Go get that Obsession. Y'all check that out, all right? Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, get that.
Hey.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move. Hey.